Greetings, my fellow Americans, and everyone else on YouTube. This is U.S. President Barack. You know what? Never mind. You already know who I am. It's been 7 years, for crying out loud. I'm going to get right to the point. As some of you may already know, the Republican presidential hopefuls had their penultimate debate prior to primary voting. I personally did not watch the debate when it aired on January 14th because I was, running the country. Fast forward to today, January 24th. It's cold, windy, and I'm snowed in. Because of the current state of affairs, I've decided to watch the debate that I missed. Naturally, I was briefed on some of their talking points. I want to get the full effect. And to be honest, there's nothing on Comedy Central right now, so watching the debate should be a good substitute. Here we go.
But the good news is, the next commander-in-chief is standing on this stage.
I sincerely hope not.
You have taxes that are too high. You have regulations. I mean, come on, they're affecting everybody here, particularly ours.
You cannot give Hillary Clinton a third term of Barack Obama's leadership.
Third term? What are you talking about?
She won't get within 10 miles of the White House.
The idea that somehow we're better off today than the day that Barack Obama was inaugurated President of the United States is totally an alternative universe. The simple fact is that the world has been torn asunder.
And someone who lies to the families of those 4 victims in Benghazi can never be president of the United States.
ISIS is neither a country nor a government. How do you attack a network that does not respect national borders?
We have enemies who are obtaining nuclear weapons that they can explode in our exo-atmosphere and destroy our electric grid. I mean, just think about a scenario.
When you look frankly at Paris, see what happens, 130 people dead with many to follow. They're very, very...
I sincerely hope that the injured in the Paris attacks were not watching this part of the debate.
Some will follow, and you look around and you see what's happening.
You were born in Canada to an American mother, so you were and are considered an American citizen. But that fellow next to you, Donald Trump, and others, have said that being born in Canada means...
Now, Donald,
but I was born here.
On the issue of citizenship, I'm not going to use your mother's birth against you.
Okay, good. Because it wouldn't work.
You're an American, as is everybody.
So, NBC Wall Street Journal just came out with a poll. Headline, Trump way up, Cruz going down. I mean, so you can't, they don't like the Wall Street Journal, they don't like NBC, but I like the poll. And frankly, it's Iowa now, as you know, Ted, in the last 3 polls, I'm beating you. So, you shouldn't misrepresent how well you're doing, number one. Number 2, this isn't me saying it, I don't care. I think I'm going to win fair and square, I don't have to win this way. Here's the problem. We're running, he does great. I win. I choose him as my vice presidential candidate, and the Democrats sue because we can't take him along for the ride. I don't like that. He beats the rest of the field, and see, they don't like that. They don't like that. No, they don't like that he beats the rest of the field because they want me. And if you become the nominee, who the hell knows if you can even serve in office? And you shouldn't have mentioned the polls because I would have been much different.
Why now? Why are you raising this issue now?
Because now he's doing a little bit better. No, I didn't care before. It's true. No, it's true. Now he's doing better. He's got probably a 4 or 5% chance.
Thank you, Mr. Trump.
And I'll tell you what, Donald, you very kindly just a moment ago offered me the VP slot. I'll tell you what, if this all works out, I'm happy to consider naming you as VP, and so if you happen to be right, you could get the top job at the end of the day.
No, I think if it doesn't...
Here, I hate to interrupt this episode of Court TV, but in 2008, we elected a president that didn't want to fix America. He wants to change America.
Hold on a minute here. I thought that in order to fix something, you have to change it first. Broken things tend to stay broken unless you make changes. Where has he been the last 7 years?
Because every person here is better than Hillary Clinton.
Neil, I was mentioned too.
You were?
Yeah, I said everybody.
Oh.
The first impulse of Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton is to take rights away from law-abiding citizens. That's always what they do, whether it's the San Bernardino. Look, I have an A+ rating in the NRA, and we also have a reduction.
I am convinced that if this president could confiscate every gun in America, he would.
You know, Senator, a world without guns would actually be a much safer place to live.
Criminals don't buy their guns from a gun show. They don't buy their guns from a collector. And they don't buy their guns from a gun store.
What fact can you point to that the president would take away everyone's gun? You don't think that's extreme?
About every 2 weeks he holds a press conference talking about how he can't wait to restrict people's access to guns. Never defended law. I'll give you a fact. Well, let me tell you this. Do you remember when he ran for president of the United States and he was...
See, he thought happy hour started earlier.
I don't think the founders put the Second Amendment as number 2 by accident. I don't think they dropped all the amendments into a hat and picked them out of a hat. I think they made the Second Amendment because they thought it was just that important.
Yes, the Second Amendment is number 2 for a reason. But that reason is highly contextual. Back in the 1700s, we relied heavily on militias, whereas today, we have standing armies. So the urgency behind the exact number, the right to bear arms clause, is no longer contextually relevant.
This guy is a petulant child.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
I hope the president's watching tonight, because here's what I like to tell him. We are going to kick your rear end out of the White House come this fall. This guy is a petulant child.
And let me make a final point on this. Listen, in any Republican primary, everyone is going to say they support the Second Amendment. Unless you are clinically insane. That's what you say in a primary.
Senator Cruz, you suggested Mr. Trump, quote, embodies New York values. Could you explain what you mean by that?
You know, I think most people know exactly what New York values are.
I am from New York.
Well, you're from New York, so you might not. But I promise you in the state of South Carolina, they do. Everyone understands that the values in New York City are socially liberal or pro-abortion or pro-gay marriage, focused around money and the media. You know, the concept of New York values is not that complicated to figure out, and I guess I can frame it another way. Not a lot of conservatives come out of Manhattan. I'm just saying.
Conservatives actually do come out of Manhattan. He insulted a lot of people. I've had more calls on that statement that Ted made. New York is a great place. It's got great people. When the World Trade Center came down,
boom! Headshot!
You're 100. That was a very insulting statement that Ted made.
Governor Bush.
Dr. Carson, do you think Senator Graham is right in wanting to send 20,000 troops, ground troops, to Iraq and Syria to take out ISIS?
These engagement rules that the administration has, we're not going to bomb a tanker that's coming out of there because there might be a person in it. Give me a break. Just tell them that you put people in there, we're going to bomb them. So don't put people in there if you don't want them bombed. You know, that's so simple.
Mr. Trump, your comments about banning Muslims from entering the country created a firestorm. According to Facebook, it was the most talked about moment online of your entire campaign, with more than 10 million people talking about the issue. Is there anything you've heard that makes you want to rethink this position?
No. And I have many great Muslim friends.
Oh, no, come on, Donald. Don't say you have friends in the group that you're prejudiced against. It just makes you look more racist.
reconsider this because this policy is a policy that makes it impossible to build the coalition necessary to take out ISIS. We don't have to have refugees come to our country, but all Muslims? Seriously? What kind of signals does that send to the rest of the world?
By the way, the police are the most mistreated people in this country. I will tell you that. The most mistreated people.
Last week, the New York Times editorial board quoted you as saying that you would impose up to a 45% tariff on Chinese goods.
That's wrong. They were wrong. It's the New York Times. They're always wrong.
Well, so you
Now,
never
wait a minute.
advocated putting a tariff on
We've
these
lost
goods?
anywhere between, I would certainly start taxing goods that come in from China. Who the hell has to lose $505 billion a year?
I'm sorry, sir, you lost, but I do want to understand that.
Oh, it's not that complicated, actually.
Then I apologize. But then I want to...
Okay, just so you understand, I know so much about trade with China. Carl Icahn today, as you know, endorsed me. Many businessmen want to endorse me.
I know, but that's...
Carl said, no, but he's somebody that, these are the kind of people that we should use to negotiate. Not the kind of people that we have who are political hacks who don't know what they're doing. The largest bank in the world is a tenant of mine. I sell tens of millions of dollars. I love China. I love the Chinese people, but they laugh themselves. They can't believe how stupid the American leadership is.
So you're open to a tariff?
I'm totally open to a tariff. If they don't treat us fairly, hey.
How about Boeing right here within a mile? You think that the Chinese, if they had a 45% tariff imposed on all their imports, wouldn't retaliate and start buying Airbus? Of course they would. This would be devastating for our economy. We need someone with a steady hand being president of the United States.
And we don't need a weak person being president of the United States, okay? Because that's what we'd get if it were just... I tell you what, we don't need that. We don't need that. China happens to be smart the way they do it, not the way we do it.
When you head back to the airport tonight, go check and see.
Oh, yeah, I'll check for you.
Check it out.
Senator, briefly.
I'd like to interrupt this debate on the floor of the Senate to actually answer the question you asked, which was on entitlements. Do you remember that, everybody? This was a question on entitlements.
Oh, I'll answer
the reason, now you already had your chance, Marky, you blew it. Here's the thing. The fact is, the reason why the President of the United States and both his attorneys general, they give the benefit of the doubt to the criminal, not to the police officer.
What the heck are you talking about?
Who just believes that law enforcement are the bad guys.
I don't know what you've been reading.
But let me also tell you, one of the issues has got to be the integration of both community and police. There are people in the community who not only think that the system doesn't work for them, but works against them. And as President of the United States, it's all about communication, folks. It's all about getting people to listen to one another's problems. And when you do that, you will be amazed at how much progress you can make and how much healing we can have.
Well, that was certainly something. I ended it with Kazik's comments on coming together as Americans to achieve positive progress, because that's what I've been for throughout my entire time as president. Everyone isn't going to necessarily agree with everyone else, but there has to be a mutual give and take to get anything done. Anyway, I enjoyed this little reprieve, but I can see snow removal vehicles on the horizon, so I'm going to go. Have a great evening, everybody, and stay tuned.